This is another tutorial video into the digit management system. It is a continuation of the tutorial on creating relational database tables using our system. If you haven't seen the first one, I'd recommend using it first. In this video, I'll go into greater detail and depth on certain features that I touched on in the earlier video. Here on the default, in the databases tab, we have a default database. We have another demo database, and each one has some definitions, some connectors, and tables within them. So here is a customer's definition, has 10 columns, and let's say we wanted to create a new orders that was based off of this. Each window here has its own a context menu. So let's say we wanted to clone this particular definition. What that's going to do is create a copy of it, and lets us create an entirely new digit that just contains the new orders. So we come here and we edit the copy, and we're going to add a new column at the end called orders. And so now we have 11 columns in this. Now let's say we meant that to be a number, so we highlight that one. I could change many at the same time, but in this case I'm just going to change the type from a string to a number. So now I'll have 11 columns in the order column, in the order definition, of which orders is another column on here. If I wanted to move it to the other database, I simply right click and say move to, select that and the other demo, and it will move it out of this database and put it in the other one. So there's our orders. Away we go. We can do that with any of the digits that you see, from connectors to tables to queries, etc. In the previous video, I showed how you could take a CSV file and just drop it in an open part of the window to create a definition. Here I'm going to show you how to use the clipboard to create a definition. So here we have a little CSV file, but it doesn't have a header on it. So there's just raw data. So I'm going to highlight some of this. I can highlight more than one row if I want to, but it's only going to use the first row to create that definition. So I hit Control C, copied it to my clipboard. I come here and I want to create a definition. And I'm going to do it from the clipboard in a CSV file. I can peek at my contents of my clipboard. It'll show me what's in there. I hit the OK. And because the definition, I'll just call this ABC, because that data in there was not a header, I'm going to use it as a template. So I click the use it as a template and hit the OK. And what this will do is give me each value it finds and let me substitute it with what the header of the column really should be. So that's an email. So I'll hit the email return. That's a phone number. That's a name. That's a state. That's a city. That's an address. So now I have a new definition here called ABC with 6 columns that have things in that order. So now I could take that file that I just cut and pasted from and drop it on that definition. It would create a table down here using that definition. I also have a set of connectors here to external databases. On this machine I have Postgres running in the background, for example. If I just double click on it, it'll let me edit. It's on the local host, everything's good here, but if I want to use different credentials, I can specify those here. I can test the connection, and sure enough I can get the connection to the database. But now I want to come and pull some data out of that table. So I'm going to create a view. So it'll give me a list of all the tables it found in that Postgres databases. I've got some crime data from the city of Chicago in here. So I'm going to come here and I want to find all the thefts in 2015. So I'm going to create a filter where the primary type equals theft. I'm going to split this and make that an AND. So I want where the year equals 2015. I show the SQL, and it'll give me a SQL statement that will be executing against the Postgres database. It's going to pull that data in. So I click OK, and then you'll see it saved that query or view into that database. I still don't have a table yet in digits. If I want to do that, I just simply double-click on this. It'll give me, I can either append it to an existing table, or I could add a new table. Since I don't have any crime tables here to append it to, I'm just going to create a new one. It's going to go out and read that 5 million row table. Fetching them in, it found 57,000 rows in the table where the year was 2015 and thefts was the primary type. Now let's say I wanted to get thefts in 2016. I could just edit this, or if I wanted to keep my old one, I could say clone this. So I'm going to create this to 2016. And so now I still need to come in and edit and say I want to change that to 2016. Again, I'll grab that data, create a new table, and pull in this case we got 61,000 in 26. So thefts went up by 4,000 between those cities, or between those years in Chicago. So we can come in and create definitions. We can grab data out of Postgres, MySQL, SQL Server databases, and build tables out of these. We can save our definitions. So here I have my definitions. I could choose to export that whole thing to a JSON file, and it will save those exported definitions. So if later I want to pull them back in, if I've deleted these, I could create them from that JSON file. So we have a quick way to create database tables, to clone and modify views into our connectors and create the tables from them. Thank you very much.